There's a place in the heart of New Orleans where shadows dance in the flickering gaslight, and stories of the past whisper through the cobblestone streets. It's a city steeped in history, but more than that, it's a city known for its ghosts. A girl once told me about her late-night stroll through the French Quarter, the air thick with humidity and mystery. She swore she felt someone brush against her, a chill running down her spine. But when she turned, there was no one there. Just the echoes of laughter from a nearby bar, the distant sound of jazz floating through the night. Now, that's just one account. But what about the stories that have been told for generations? Historical locations often hide secrets beneath their charming facades. The LaLaurie Mansion, for instance, a place notorious for its dark past. In the early 1800s, Madame Delphine LaLaurie was known for her lavish parties, but behind closed doors, she was a figure of horror, infamous for her cruelty toward enslaved people. Today, visitors to the mansion report hearing anguished cries that linger in the air long after they leave. Are those the ghosts of her victims? Or merely the echoes of a city's troubled history? But this isn't just about spooky tales. It's about how these narratives intertwine with the fabric of the community. In places like New Orleans, ghost stories are as much a part of the culture as gumbo and Mardi Gras. They reflect collective fears, shared histories, and the way communities process trauma. People want to believe that there's something beyond the grave, something that connects them to their ancestors. It's a way of keeping the past alive, even if that past is filled with pain. In the Northeast, there's the infamous Lizzie Borden house in Fall River, Massachusetts. Lizzie was accused of murdering her father and stepmother with an axe back in 1892. The house is now a bed and breakfast, and guests swear they've heard the chilling sounds of footsteps and whispers in the night. Some even claim to have seen visions of Lizzie herself, her face contorted in anguish. But what's real is how this story has evolved. It's not just a tale of murder, it's become a lens through which people explore themes of gender, power, and societal expectations in the late 19th century. Speaking of societal contexts, let's take a detour. Think about the different ways cultures interpret fear and the supernatural. In many indigenous cultures, for instance, ghost stories often serve as cautionary tales, teaching lessons about respect for the land and the ancestors. The Haudenosaunee, or Iroquois, have tales of the little people, spirits that can be mischievous or benevolent, depending on how you treat the earth. This perspective shifts the narrative from mere hauntings to an intricate web of respect, fear, and understanding. Now, back to the States. The Gettysburg battlefield in Pennsylvania is another site steeped in spectral lore. The echoes of the Civil War still there, and countless visitors have reported ghostly soldiers wandering the fields. One story stood out to me. A man claimed he felt a hand on his shoulder while walking alone at dusk. He turned, expecting to see a friend, but found nothing. That moment wasn't just eerie, it was a profound connection to a tragic past. The battlefield isn't merely a tourist site, it's a hallowed ground where people come to remember those who fought and died. The ghosts, in this context, become a bridge between the living and the dead, a way to honor those lost in a brutal conflict. But let's not forget the psychological angle here. Why do some people feel these sensations more than others? Could it be a heightened sensitivity to the environment, or perhaps a cultural conditioning that makes them more receptive to these experiences? Many claim that fear can amplify our perceptions. You step into a dimly lit room, and suddenly, the creaks and groans of the house feel like something more. Some researchers suggest that the power of suggestion plays a huge role. If you're told a place is haunted, your mind might fill in the gaps, producing sensations that feel very real. There's also the communal aspect of ghost stories. They can bring people together, creating shared experiences that bond communities. Last Halloween, I attended a ghost tour in a small town in Massachusetts. The guide was a local historian, sharing tales of the old mill that once stood on the river. As she recounted how workers had mysteriously vanished, a chill swept through the crowd. Strangers huddled closer, exchanging nervous glances. This wasn't just entertainment, it was a collective confrontation with fear and the unknown, a moment that fostered connection through shared anxiety. While ghost stories are often seen as mere entertainment, they hold a mirror to our collective psyche. They tap into our fears and desires, reflecting our need for connection, both with each other and with the past. Whether it's the spirits of the Civil War at Gettysburg or the whispers in the LaLaurie Mansion, these tales allow us to explore our own mortality and the legacies we leave behind. But let's pivot for a moment. What about the historical significance of these locations? They're often built on sites of trauma or tragedy, and that history seeps into the very ground. The old jail in Philadelphia, for instance, hosted some of the most notorious criminals in American history. Visitors report an overwhelming sense of dread when walking through its corridors. It's not just the stories of the prisoners, it's the weight of history that lingers in the air. And speaking of lingering, let's look at how personal narratives shape our understanding of these places. A woman named Sarah once shared her experience visiting the old jail. She described feeling a sense of sadness wash over her as she walked through the cells. It wasn't just the history of those incarcerated, it was the realization of their humanity. She felt connected to their stories, as if the walls themselves were whispering their pain. Sarah's experience highlights how personal narratives can enrich our understanding of the past, transforming ghost stories into good reflections on humanity. It's also real how these tales evolve over time. Take the story of the Bell Witch in Tennessee, for instance. What began as a local legend in the early 1800s has morphed into a multifaceted narrative that intertwines with regional identity. The Bell family's alleged encounters with a poltergeist became a symbol of struggle against oppression and injustice. The tale has been told and retold, each version reflecting the fears and hopes of its time. And let's not overlook the role of technology in shaping these narratives. With the rise of social media, ghost sightings and stories can spread like wildfire. People share their experiences in real time, creating a digital tapestry of fear and fascination. A recent TikTok video showed a group of friends investigating an abandoned asylum. They captured chilling sounds on their audio recorder, sparking a heated debate in the comments about whether it was real or just a clever trick. This new platform allows personal narratives to gain traction, creating a shared experience that can bridge distances. But wait, what happens when these narratives clash? Consider the recent controversy surrounding the Salem witch trial's legacy. On one hand, you have the ghosts of the accused, haunting the collective memory of a community. On the other, there's the commercialization of fear, with witch-themed merchandise flooding the market. How do we honor the past while also acknowledging the impact of these stories on the present? It's a complicated dance, one that requires sensitivity and understanding. Let's take a moment to reflect on how these stories shape our understanding of fear. Fear is a universal experience, transcending cultures and time. It's what connects us, what makes us human. Ghost stories tap into that primal fear of the unknown, allowing us to confront it in a safe space. They give voice to our anxieties and traumas, transforming them into narratives that can be shared and dissected. Switching gears again, let's dive into the eerie experience of the Stanley Hotel in Colorado. This place inspired Stephen King's The Shining, and it's not hard to see why. The grand structure, with its sprawling grounds and real mountain backdrop, carries an air of mystery. Guests often report strange happenings, doors opening and closing on their own, the sound of piano music echoing through empty halls. But what's good here is how the hotel has embraced its haunted reputation. They offer ghost tours and themed events, inviting guests to engage with the history while enjoying a good scare. It's a brilliant way to weave personal narratives into the larger tapestry of the hotel's legacy. The psychological implications of these experiences are profound. When people share their ghost stories, they often reveal more than just a spooky encounter. They share their fears, hopes, and connections to the past. A woman once recounted her experience at the Stanley Hotel, describing how the ghostly encounters deepened her appreciation for the history that unfolded within those walls. She felt a sense of connection to the past, as if the ghosts were guardians of the stories that needed to be told. Now, let's consider how these narratives can serve as cautionary tales. In many cultures, ghost stories function to teach lessons. They remind us to respect the dead, to honor our ancestors, and to confront our fears. The story of La Llorona in Latin American folklore warns children to behave or risk being taken by the weeping woman. It's a good narrative that reflects societal values and the complexities of motherhood, loss, and grief. As we dive deeper into the cultural significance of these stories, it's important to acknowledge how ghost stories can serve as a means of cultural preservation. For many indigenous communities, stories of spirits and ancestors are not merely entertainment, they are a way to pass down knowledge and history. The stories connect generations, ensuring that cultural heritage is not lost to time. Ghost stories also have the potential to challenge societal norms. Many of the tales we hear today break down barriers, allowing marginalized voices to be heard. The narratives of women, people of color, and LGBTQ+ individuals often intertwine with ghostly experiences, reflecting a desire for justice and recognition. So, what do we do with all this? How do we navigate the fine line between honoring the past and engaging with it? It's about understanding the power of storytelling. Ghost stories are not just about fear, they are about connection, understanding, and the human experience. They allow us to confront the things that haunt us, whether they be personal fears or collective traumas. In the end, whether you believe in ghosts or not, these stories are important. They remind us of our shared humanity, the complexities of our histories, and the way we process fear and trauma. So the next time you're standing in a historic location, take a moment to listen. Listen for the whispers of those who came before, and remember that their stories are part of your own. If you're enjoying these narratives, consider subscribing to stay updated. There's so much more to explore. And if that last story resonated with you, a like would really help, showing that these tales matter. As we wrap up, think about this. What stories are waiting to be told in your community? What ghosts linger in the shadows, waiting for someone to share their tale?